This task force was formed in the wake of an incident on St. Patrick's Day Parade when a teenage girl was handcuffed and then slammed to the pavement and had to be sent to the hospital. As a result of this work, would that happen again? And did you conclude that that was the right way to handle the situation?
What the committee looked at is, I think the main thing here is communication. What we found during that situation is there wasn't a clear line of communication. If people had concerns about how things were done, we really didn't think the community was aware of the procedure they follow. If they want to file grievance, they have an understanding. So that's really what we're working on. We're working on the community part of how residents can lodge a complaint about a police officer.
But you also have language in here about how officers should conduct themselves with vulnerable populations.
Exactly.
Should officers slam teenage girls who are handcuffed to a pavement and send them to the hospital?
The answer to that, of course, is no. But we also found that there's a difference between people, the way people are trained in Meriden and Post and the way people are trained here. Our standards here in New Haven are a lot higher. And in that particular situation, I'm not a politician. The mayor did what was right. But in New Haven, our policy does not allow people to swipe people's feet and throw them to the ground. That is not allowed.
So that officer was never, in the end, reprimanded or told he did anything wrong?
He was trained correctly by the state. Now, in terms of you want to find out how, we got to talk to the mayor or someone other than me. I just looked at, see, what we did clear up was the fact that everybody now in New Haven is trained in New Haven standards. And New Haven standards, if you look at it, are a lot higher than some other cities.
A question about video recording. The recommendation you came up with video recording after some incidents where citizens had their cameras removed and they were arrested for trying to video record the police. The only recommendation you made here was that officers be trained to know they're not supposed to do that. 2 years ago, the city signed a consent decree after settling 2 lawsuits saying they would do that. So A, why is that recommendation not being followed already? And B, did that training occur before Taisha Helms was arrested outside the beverage bus for trying to video record the police?
Again, in terms of that, we looked at the policy, and there wasn't a lot out there on the policy. And I will say, we're at phase 1. We realized that all of our recommendations and a lot of things still need a lot more work and a lot more time. And so what we put out is nowhere near a final thing. It's not all going to go into effect tomorrow. It's a work in progress. But again, technology has changed a lot, and we're working on it. But we did not do anything in our meetings. We didn't talk about particular cases or incidents. This is not a knee-jerk thing. We started this before incidents occurred. The mayor asked us to look at all the policies, and we looked at every single one of them. We did sing on some. There's some things that are changing in terms of technology. We started this. We had no idea that officers would have cameras. The tasers are a new thing to us. A lot of things that are new, and we're trying to find out the best practices across the country. And we've actually done that. I've had the opportunity to go down to D.C. The mayor sent me to D.C. to see what they're doing in other cities and other states. And so it's not a knee-jerk thing. But again, it's a matter of all of us up here. All of us up here have a different perspective of how things should be handled. And again, we want to do what's best practices. And when we finish the document, it will be the best practices that will go into effect that all of us will agree on. This committee did not come to be I got you for the police department or I got you for any board or group. This is just find out what is the best practices in our country. And we want to implement. Our mayor wants to be...
I guess, and I definitely understand what you're saying there. My question, though, my concern was, you've made a recommendation that the city already promised to follow 2 years ago in a consent decree, which was not followed. So why would the public look at this recommendation and say this will be any different from what was signed in consent decree 2 years ago?
Well, again, I think it's a matter of communication. What you're saying is absolutely true. I don't think the general public knows. We talked about putting these policies and procedures on the internet. If you were to go to the internet right now, you probably could not find what you're talking about because you're a great reporter. You dug and you found it, and that's great. But it needs to be accessible to everybody. And that's where people need to know that you have a right to videotape. You have a right to be arrested with dignity. We talked about dignity and respect. Everyone has a right to be respected and have dignity all the time.
Thank you.